All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is John Tierney. I'm a proprietor out of California. I've been on the committee for 23 years, and welcome to this seminar. For a few rules and regulations and an introduction, and then we'll get started. Welcome to the 2012 International Bowl Expo. We would like to thank all of you for being here today. Before we begin the presentation, we have a few announcements. Again, as an added value this year, copies of all PowerPoint presentations synced with the audio recording will be available to you approximately 2 weeks after the conclusion of this conference. The recordings may be viewed at www.bowlinguniversity.net using the login bowl and password expo. We hope you will take this opportunity to share the knowledge of this presentation with any of your staff who was unable to attend. New this year, we have added the Speakers Pavilion and Ask the Experts sessions to the trade show floor. Most contracted speakers have booths and will be available for further conversation and information on their products and services. Please make an effort to visit them. Join your peers from 8 o'clock a.m. to 9:45 Thursday morning for the first ever Networking Power Hour. Free continental breakfast, mimosas, Bloody Mary bar will be there. Come prepared to share and come prepared to learn. Please make sure you have a survey or scan the QR code for this seminar. At the conclusion of this and every presentation, we ask that you simply scan the QR code to complete the survey online via your handheld device, or complete the survey you received and return it to the front desk or leave it with us. As you drop it off as you leave the seminar. Each seminar has its own unique QR code, so please be sure you have the correct seminar survey. Completed surveys will be entered into a drawing for $500 Bowling University education credit, good for either the online training or the management schools. Bryan Weatherford has been selling fun for over 30 years. Throughout his career, he has handled sales, marketing, and event planning for such organizations as SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, Wet n Wild Water Park, Gillies Dallas, Sundance Square in Fort Worth, Texas, and Putt Putt Entertainment. Bryan's worked for the BPA for 4 years, serving as Director of Membership Services and Marketing. In 2003, Bryan started One Source Marketing, now named All In Promotions. Bryan's company offers promotional products, marketing, and event planning services. Throughout his life, Bryan has worked with numerous nonprofit organizations as a volunteer and a board member. These organizations include American Cancer Society, the Presbyterian Night Shelter, Arlington Board of Realtors, Downtown Fort Worth, Inc., Big Brothers, Big Sisters, the Arlington Chamber of Commerce, and the Miss Texas organization. Bryan's unique flair in utilizing event venues in new and inventive ways has raised thousands of dollars for a variety of organizations. A self-described wannabe comedian, Bryan is sought as a speaker, MC, auctioneer, as well as an event planner for nonprofit groups. He has created and managed poker tournaments, blackjack tournaments, golf tournaments, tennis tournaments, gala dinners, silent auctions, live auctions, and of course bowling events. In 2006, Bryan signed on with Alley Cat Entertainment in Arlington, Texas to serve as their Director of Marketing and Sales. Bryan's creativity and enthusiasm and passion for family fun has contributed to Alley Cat's position as a top family entertainment center. Bryan lives in Fort Worth, Texas, with his wife Pam, where he helped her and her company D3 Seminars. I'd like to introduce personally, I know Bryan and Pam for years. I'd like to introduce friends of mine, Bryan Weatherford and his wife Pam.
Guys, if you get a chance this week, you need to be sure and thank all the staff people like John. Not everybody's been doing this for 23 years, but as a former staffer with BPAA, I promise you Bowl Expo would never go out without the generous support and help of all the staff members. So a round of applause for everybody on behalf of John Tierney. Well, I'm worn out after that introduction. How about you guys? Any questions? We can just wrap it up right now and leave it at that. I want to get to know all of you a little bit real quick since you learned some stuff about me. I'm just curious, how many of you would say that you work with, manage, own, etc.? You're here related to a, quote, traditional bowling center. Okay, thank you. How many of you would say the same thing, but you're with a family entertainment center, an FEC? Great. Let's see, we have a good rounding thing here. Okay, the stuff we're going to talk about today applies to all aspects of our business, whether you're a traditional center, you're a family entertainment center, or even if you're a hybrid center. So it's important to know where you are so I can figure out how to take what I know and put it in a nice, detailed way to where you can figure out how to do things better. Now, I got to tell you, I'm short enough as it is, but standing here staring up at this screen, I may crane my neck here, so forgive me if I have some spasms here momentarily. When you're talking about doing fundraisers in your center, it's very important to remember, for the most part, you're going to be selling bowling to non-bowlers. Okay? Some of you are going to have to think a little differently than what you've conditioned yourself or what you've learned throughout your career with a bowling center. When you're talking about fundraising events, in a lot of instances, you're selling bowling to non-bowlers. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're going to have a bowling event in your center, surprisingly, they really don't care what pattern you're running, right? For the most part, they're happy to wear rental shoes. Okay? They're really, gratefully, they're really not that concerned with price. Okay? Anybody have leagues in their centers? I know it's a facetious question. Have you noticed that sometimes they get a little concerned with price? Okay? That's one of the many pluses of using your center to attract non-bowlers looking for a place to hold a fundraiser. Now, I've listed some things up here. What you have to remember, you're not just competing against other bowling centers to get these groups in there. You're competing against a lot of other venues, such as hotel ballrooms like this. Anybody ever been to a hotel ballroom like this to a fundraiser? Casino party, silent auction, etc.? Okay. Same thing goes with a school gymnasium, church meeting halls, country clubs, golf courses, any traditional venue. Those are all your competition to try to get somebody in to your place to use as a fundraiser. I first kind of got involved with doing fundraisers in a bowling center when I got a phone call one day from listen carefully, my ex-mother-in-law. Okay? So it says a lot about me, I guess, that my ex-mother-in-law called me and was very polite. Some of you may have received phone calls from your ex-mother-in-laws before, but could have been for different reasons. But I was lucky. My ex-mother-in-law gave me a call, and she wanted me to manage a golf tournament for them to raise money for the Presbyterian Night Shelter in Fort Worth, Texas. And I'm like, okay, I'm happy to come over. I'm happy to meet with you. So I go to a meeting with my ex-mother-in-law, who at the time was 65. I guess I was probably mid-40s. Well, I was the youngest person in the room at this meeting. My ex-mother-in-law was the second youngest person in the room at this meeting at the age of 65. Everybody else in the room had a lot of things in common. They were a little older than me. They were a little older than her. But they were very passionate about the Presbyterian Night Shelter. And best of all, they had very big checkbooks, and they didn't care about writing checks. What they didn't know, they didn't have a clue on running an event to raise money for the night shelter. What you run into a lot of times, and I hope you agree, a lot of the times when you're working with charity organizations, you're working with a bunch of volunteers, correct? Very few of your large organizations have a full-time staff or even a full-time person who's devoted to running events. So as we go throughout the day, I'm going to give you some things that'll help you by helping them. You're not going, for the most part, not everybody's a Susan G. Komen organization, all right, which has multitudes of full-time, highly paid people, and they're just a marketing machine and can do wonderful things for a wonderful cause. And they're able to do it. They don't need a lot of assistance from people like us, but the vast majority of places looking to raise money are all volunteer-based organizations. And that doesn't matter whether it's your PTA at the school, whether it's your scout groups, whether it's sports teams, youth sports teams I'm talking about. Of course, the major league sports teams need to raise some money too, but that's a different story as well. What you need to realize is anything you can do to help them out is a good thing to help them. So back to the night shelter. It was really funny talking to these ladies, and I'm going to get into this later. But I asked them, I said, well, what are we raising money for the night shelter? And they said, we need to fix the bathrooms. Has anybody ever been to a homeless shelter to visit? Trust me when they say we needed to fix the bathrooms, they were in dire need of repair. So they wanted to do an event to fix the bathrooms at the night shelter. I will get on that here in just a little bit. But that's kind of how I got involved with working with the groups like this. There's a lot of extra pluses for you when you work with organizations to bring fundraising events into your center. It actually helps you out in a lot of ways. For example, there could be a lot of people that come to your bowling center that have never been there before, because remember, we're not talking about bowlers. It's a whole different thing. There's a whole lot of seminars here and a lot of really, really, really good information to help you out with flooring leagues and doing tournaments, etc. But when you're talking about fundraisers, for the most part, with the non-bowlers, they've never been in there. And once they come in there, it gives you an opportunity to let them know everything else you have to offer, right? You could have some corporate people that said, oh, my gosh, what a great place for our holiday party. It's all about exposure, foot traffic. You're going to do these events, for the most part, when you need them in there, when it's downtime in your center. But you get the people in here, and then you have a chance to tell them about other activities you have, such as the holiday parties, team building, or you might even get them into, start them with a club, push them to a league. Gives you an opportunity for new faces coming to your place of business that would never have thought of coming there before until the fundraiser that they were passionate about decided to come. Same thing, too, with the youth groups. We do a lot of fundraisers at Alley Cats for youth groups to help them. When I say youth groups, I'm talking about, for the most part, sporting event groups, soccer teams, baseball teams, hockey teams, etc., but also church youth groups that may try to raise money for their summer camp program, etc. You get them in there, and then they see how much fun they're having. They want to come back and book another group another time. So it's important to remember getting these people in there. A lot of the times when we're, again, talking about non-bowlers, they're coming in, it's their first time in. They had no idea how fun bowling is. There's a statistic out there that I wish I knew the exact number on, but for years, a lot of you have been around this a lot longer than me, but the statistics I always hear, Mr. Hall would know this. Do we say 70 million bowlers a year? Is that the number we use? I'm sorry? Open play? Thank you. We use the number, there's at least 70 million people a year that bowl at least once a year, correct? Now, the last I looked, the United States has over 300 million people. So if we're saying there's 70 million people that bowl once a year, I'm looking at that as 230 million people who don't, okay? So this is an opportunity to bring them in for a fundraiser, and then hopefully, all these things on the screen behind me, hopefully you'll be able to turn them into a bowler. You may not turn them into a league bowler, but you can certainly turn them into an open play bowler, and they'll come in with more frequency to your center simply because they walked in here for the first time. And remember, too, it's important that you're filling slow times with these groups. Now, here's one thing that's interesting. We're not going to book a bowling tournament for the most part. I know a lot of you are squirming in your seats saying, oh, my gosh, that's what we do. We do tournaments. Right? We all book tournaments in our bowling centers, correct? You're shaking your head. Why are we not going to do a tournament? Absolutely. What he said, with a tournament, you're going to get bowlers. I'm going to paraphrase here, but you're exactly right. We're not going to do a tournament. What are we going to do instead? Well, we have a lot of other suggestions, but let me just say this. Everyone loves to bowl. Obviously, everyone in this room loves to bowl, but there's at least 70 million people who love to bowl. First time you say, hey, you like to bowl? Oh, yeah, I love to bowl. Well, great, we're doing a bowling tournament to raise money for the boys and girls. Oh, no, not a tournament. I'm not that good. They're not going to show up. It's not a good thing. So instead of booking a tournament, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a fundraiser. We're going to have a benefit. We're going to have an outing. We're just going to have an event with proceeds to benefit XYZ charity. Does everybody understand the difference? Because this seems simple, but it's very, very critical. Everyone loves to bowl, but as soon as you say we're having a tournament, you just cut down your audience a lot to tournament bowlers, people that actually bowl all the time that want to go out and show their stuff in a tournament-type setting. So it's really critical to remember to use these terms like this: outing, fundraiser, benefit, event. Anybody else have something I couldn't think of? I'm sorry? Party. Who doesn't like to go to a party? Really? I saw 2 hands. No, I'm joking. Everyone loves to go to a party, but you really love to go to a party when you're going to a party to support a charity or an organization that you're passionate about, correct? Like the night shelter, and I'm going to get back to them here in just a little bit. So let's remember, we're not doing that. One thing that's important is, where do you find these leads? Where do you find the leads for these groups? Here's the beauty of it. For the most part, they find you. Now then, we all have bowling centers, right? Has anyone ever received a phone call or a letter or an email from a charitable organization, a nonprofit group, wanting to know if you'll donate some bowling passes for their next event? Anybody ever? It wasn't just me? No? Of course, we all get those letters, right? Well, what a great opportunity. You got the fish jumping in the boat, okay? You don't have to go out and find them. What you do, I never say no to anybody that wants bowling games or game cards or whatever else we have at Alley Cats. I'll give them to anybody that asks. But do I mail them to them? No. They meet me at the bowling center, and we go on a tour. And it gives me an opportunity to learn some about their organization. How long have you been around? What specifically are you trying to raise money for? How do you plan on doing it? And who are you? Are you the volunteer or what? And then we get to develop an interaction with each other, and they're talking about the outing that they're going to have. Well, guess that information, I'm able to turn that around. I now know a couple of things. One, I found a group that's looking to raise money. Okay? That's important. When you're going to go out, instead of cold calling, this guy or gal just came walking in the door and said, look, man, we're trying to raise some money. Can you give us a donation of some bowling games, right? So now you already know, here's a group that needs to raise money. 2, here's the contact person at the group. That's even more important. You can find Boys and Girls Club, but to find the volunteer who has something to do with raising money for the Boys and Girls Club, sometimes that's a little difficult. You don't even know where to start. But you don't have to start, because they sent you that letter. You invited them into your center, and now there you go. You're starting your relationships. Everybody see what I'm saying on that? Does anybody have similar things when someone wants something from you? Do you just mail it to them? No, I don't. You got to invite them in and take them around and show them what you had to offer. I'm sorry? No, not anymore. Well, I promise you it works, and it gives you an opportunity to show off your place. So you got your youth groups, your nonprofit groups, your school groups, post-prom, post-grad parties. Now then, what I'm talking about on this with regards to fundraising, does anybody book post-prom, post-grad parties in their centers? Great money, isn't it? Midnight to 6 in the morning. I don't know about your place. We don't usually run a lot of money from oh, wait, we're closed. We don't run any money from midnight to 6 in the morning. But this year at Alley Cats, we had 14 post-prom or post-graduation parties. And each of them averaged somewhere around $4,500 a piece. Okay, that's found money. Okay? Now then, ideally, you would like to book the party itself at your bowling center, correct? And I promise you, if we would have had 30 Fridays in May, we would have had 30 post-prom or post-prom, but sadly, there's not 30 Fridays in May, so you have to kind of spread it out. However, even if these groups are not having the party itself at your bowling center, they still got to raise money to have the party wherever it's going to be, right? So if they've rented out the country club up the street where they're going to have an all-night lock-in with casino parties and stuff, that's great. You still talk to them about using your facility to help them raise money to go spend somewhere else. Does that make sense? Ideally, you want to get them, but if you can't get the big party over here, you book the smaller events to where you can help them raise money. And it's for a good cause. You're developing a great relationship with these schools or these groups that want to use you as a fundraiser. And guess what? Could be your foot in the door for the next year to get them in there. It's really important to schmooze these groups any way you can. And it all starts with always saying yes. When they want some free games of bowling or something, you give them to them. But how do you give them to them? You get them to come in and meet you, right? They walk in the center. It's a personal tour. It gives you a chance to show your stuff, show what you had to offer. I'm real big on schmoozing. Okay, my wife could attest to that. I mean, she's my wife, so therefore it's obvious I'm pretty big on schmoozing, and I do it every day. No, with her it's natural, but it's natural anyway. So I'm really big on schmoozing. I wanted to do a big party. Everybody have Girl Scouts in their town? Okay. I wanted to have a big party, not with just one little Girl Scout troop. I wanted all of them to come to our center to have a big Girl Scout outing. Anybody ever get those where you have everybody? I want to talk to you in your booth. Where's your booth? I need to know how you did it. Okay.
I just went ahead and contacted the Greater Atlanta Girl Scout troop, and we had a lock-in of 450 Girl Scouts at $25 a pop a head. And actually, there were two of them that came in 2 different times. So for the younger kids, we had the lock-in from 10 in the morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday. And then our oldest ones was a Friday, and that started 11:30 registration. So everybody got a wristband and so forth. And then by 12 o'clock, the center was closed down until 6 in the morning. We even brought in a magician for an hour, and they sat and they watched the magician, and they paid extra for that magician to come in. It was awesome. The revenue was over 10.
Over 10,000. If they had not been there, how much money would you have run that day? Less than 10,000, right? The point is, maybe, but on that Monday, I guarantee you wouldn't have that kind of money. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. These nonprofit groups looking to do fundraisers are a great opportunity for you to fill downtime. And you might bring them in at a lower rate than you're used to, but guess what? It's incremental revenue. If you're bringing in money when you usually don't, if you look back, okay, this Thursday last year, what did we run? Oh, okay, and then somebody wants to pay you 5 times that, probably a good deal to think about anyway, correct? Okay. Back to my schmoozing deal. I really wanted the Girl Scouts, so I started thinking, okay, what's a really good suck-up move I can pull with the Girl Scouts, okay? What are Girl Scouts known for doing? How do Girl Scouts raise money? Cookies. They sell cookies, right? Okay, well, they sell cookies in our place, too. Well, back in the day, the Girl Scout would knock on your door and say, "Hi, Mr. Weatherford, I'm Susie. I'm selling Girl Scout cookies. Would you like a box? And look at me, I love Girl Scout cookies. So I would always buy the boxes of cookies. I give the little girl my money. She goes out to mom's minivan, gets the cookies, gives me the cookies, right? I don't know about your place. It doesn't work that way anymore in our town. They come in, they take the order. Who said no? Are you a Girl Scout leader by any chance? Oh, well, you know the way, you know the game, don't you? Then you knock on the door and you fill out an order form. But you get my money, don't you? All right. And then eventually I get the cookies. Okay. No, eventually, but I know they're going to come as the Girl Scouts. All right. So I got to thinking, what can I do to help them out? Well, when all the cookies come in, it's a really big deal. Okay, because all the Girl Scout leaders have to go pick up the cookies to get the cookies to their girls so they can fulfill the orders they made a month, 6 weeks earlier. So what I did is this. See this truck here? This is a big 18-wheeler. Alley Cats, that's us. This is the first Monday of January. It's about 42 degrees. It was cold and rainy. All right? So this big truck shows up. You're thinking, what the heck is the truck? Well, what I did, I took all of the pool tables out of our billiard room. Okay? And I turned our billiard room into a cookie warehouse. You with me? I had 27,000 boxes. I mean, my heart was going crazy. Just the vapors alone added 3 inches to my waistline I haven't been able to get rid of yet. 27,000 boxes of cookies. Look at this. So I'll go back to the other slide. See? Cookies here, cookies here. That's the only 2 I put on there. 27,000 boxes of cookies waiting for pickup. Here's where it gets cool. Who's picking them up? Every Girl Scout leader in Arlington, Texas is walking in my front door to pick up their cookies. Most of them had been there before. Some of them hadn't. What a great opportunity. Then I go, wait, let's go on a tour. I take them on a tour. Just show them around. Here's what we have. Here's our rock climbing wall. Here's our laser tag. Here's the bowling lanes. Here's everything that we have. We go back so they can start getting their cookies. And hats off to the Girl Scouts. I bet you volunteered a time or two. Well, it's like a military operation. 27,000 boxes of cookies in and out of the door in 4 hours. It was awesome. They've got all the order forms in order. They line up the orders. And here comes Susie Smith. Here's Susie Smith's cookies. Out, out, out. It was wonderful. Okay? However, to suck up even more, I would introduce myself. How many people in your scout group? Well, I have 12 girls. All right. Well, here's 12 coupons for free bowling. All right. Here's a $25 gift card. Give it to your top cookie salesperson on us. All right. And they didn't ask for anything. All I'm doing is planting the seed, schmoozing with them. So word got out to the Girl Scout Council about how cool this was. For those of you not familiar with Texas, Arlington is midway between Dallas and Fort Worth. Okay? 2 weeks prior to Cookie Day, here in our nice, dry, 72-degree cookie warehouse, the Fort Worth Girl Scout people picked up their cookies in the parking lot of the Fort Worth Zoo. It was 36 degrees and sleeting all day long, but there they are in the parking lot with minimal cover picking up the cookies. Now, if you're one of the Girl Scout leaders picking up cookies, where would you rather do it? Inside of this or in a parking lot getting rained on? Well, of course, you'd rather be inside. So it really worked out well for us. So I started talking to the head honchos with Girl Scouts. And they're saying, oh, my gosh, that was so nice of you to donate your space. I'm like, well, that's the way we are. We worked around some things. Truthfully, there's nothing going on at Alley Cats. We don't do leagues. It's absolutely empty. The Girl Scouts hadn't been there. There wouldn't have been anybody there. But the perception, the perceived value was incredible, to the point that this fall I have a big lock-in planned with the Girl Scouts as a fundraiser for the Girl Scouts as an introduction to get more girls to join Girl Scouts. We're going to do merit badges. You get a merit badge for climbing the rock wall, a laser tag merit badge, a bowling merit. I mean, now we're in with the Girl Scouts, all from schmoozing, so that worked out pretty well. Anybody else have any good schmoozing stories? Here's one back here in the back, all right? Let me get back here to you. A Girl Scout leader, are you? Nope, okay. Don't say just a bowling proprietor. I won't give you the microphone. You're a bowling proprietor.
Yes, I am. Okay. We do a nice event with the Girl Scouts every year on Martin Luther King Day. It's a day that, and I'm from Ohio, and we have a group of Girl Scouts that come in. There's probably 2 different sessions. I have a 24-lane center, so they fill the house. We charge minimal, $7 a person to actually bowl, and the Girl Scouts charge $12. And what they do with the difference in $5 is they buy bears. So we named this event Bowling for Bears. And what they do is the additional $5 goes back to the fire departments who give out bears in case anybody in the family has a medical emergency or a fire. So our Girl Scouts do that. And we probably raise $1,500 in a 4-hour period of time.
That's in Chicago area? Ohio area, excuse me. Yeah, and that's great, but also the thing that you didn't mention that you're also getting is a great deal of respect from those Girl Scouts and everybody else. So that's a wonderful story. Anybody else do something pretty cool, kind of off the beaten path? It may not be as crazy as moving 7 full-size Brunswick tables out of the way so you can put 27,000 pallets of cookies. I can't play pool, by the way, but I can certainly eat some cookies. So
we had just a minor thing we did with Girl Scouts. In our town, they have cookie lotteries where the best places in town, the Girl Scout troops pull a number and they get Walmart to sell their cookies at the booths and stuff like that. And a lot of the girls just have these places that are just not, great places to hand out or sell cookies. So they called us and said, could we use your facility to sell cookies? They sold them at our place, and then it gave us an opportunity to have a conversation about other opportunities to help them, with fundraisers and things like that. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's great. I'm telling you, anytime they almost have a sense of like they're indebted to you for opening up your billiard room or allowing them to sell cookies. A lot of places don't like them selling cookies there because, golly, if they buy the Girl Scout cookies, that's one less pizza I'm going to sell. It's worth it. If they want to set up and sell cookies, let them do it because eventually they're going to want to do something. And you can start the ball rolling by saying, why don't we have a party here at our bowling center for the top producers, top cookie sellers, and let them come in and have a good time with that. So anyway, that was kind of cool. Moving, here's the other thing. So to get everything emptied out, they moved the pallets, and they brought their own vacuum cleaners to vacuum up the leftover wood and stuff. How great was that? Isn't that neat? If only they knew how to oil lanes, I'd really have something, but we haven't got there yet, but hopefully soon enough we will. So never hesitate to schmooze 27,000 boxes of cookies. That was just crazy. One thing I'm working on now has nothing to do with the Girl Scouts, hopefully. I'm working with the area SWAT teams in our area. Anybody have police departments in your area? Okay, yeah, good. We have a lot of them. So I thought, what would be kind of cool? We have a 2-story laser tag arena. I thought, wouldn't it be neat to have a laser tag tournament with the SWAT cops? And I was thinking, when I was 11 years old, how cool would that be to get all decked out, solid black, go play laser tag with real police officers, right? So I'm tying this together with the Arlington Independent School District, where the kids are going to write essays on the police department. The top kids get to be on a team with real police officers and play laser tag. It's kind of a neat deal. And it's next year. Hopefully I'll do another seminar next year. I can tell you how successful it was. But just think outside of the box, things that you can do that you normally wouldn't do for that. A lot of different types of fundraisers you can do in your bowling center. 50-50. We all know what that is, right? You know, everybody ever sell the deck of cards? Reggie, I'm sure I bought a few cards from you over the years. Sell the deck of cards, $10 a card, $20 a card. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Okay. And so you tear the card in half. What's your favorite card in a deck of cards? What's your favorite card?
2 of hearts.
The 2 of hearts. I knew that. That's the exact card I was thinking. Okay. The 2 of hearts. So you give me the $10. I tear the 2 of hearts. You keep half. I keep half. At the end of the night, we do a big drawing. And who has the 2 of hearts? And you do. What's your name? Karen. It's Karen with the 2 of hearts. And Karen comes up and, well, at $10 a card, you sell a deck of cards, 52 cards in a deck. How much money is that? $520. Okay? In a 50-50 auction, the $520 is split. The holder of the card gets half the money, and the charity gets half the money. Okay? I've cranked it up a notch. Does everybody understand what I'm saying on that? You don't have to print tickets. You don't have to do anything. You just sell the deck of cards, and they can do it as part of their group experience there in your center. That's just something else they can do. However, here's where I make it better. It's a 50-50 split normally. I say, hey, let me have the microphone. Let me do the drawing, because I don't know anybody that's here for the event, so I can do this. Okay, the winner. Who has the 2 of hearts? Who is it? 2 of hearts. Karen, hey, congratulations. A round of applause for Karen for supporting the charity. That 2 of hearts. We have $520. I got 260s going over here for the Girl Scouts. 260. Let me ask you something. How many tickets did you buy to win this? You spent how much? You only spent $10? Wow, you're fixing to get $260 off. You know what? Here's $80. Here's $80 right here. When you walked in the door today, did you think there was any way you were going to make a profit of $70? No. Why don't we give you the $80 and let the girls have all the rest of the money as a donation from you? Can they have the rest of your money? Do you mind if they do that? You want to give her some support? Doesn't she need to do that, right? Okay, so what I'm getting at is this. I can do that because I'll never see Karen again. She's going to hate me for putting her on the spot and not getting her $260, but she just got an 8-time return on investment. Certainly better than the Facebook stock my wife just purchased, but I digress. We won't get into that at the moment. But the thing is, you can help them out on the 50-50 by maybe taking the mic and milking them for even more money at that. Of course, you can do a fish bowl, simply where they just write a check and drop it in the bowl to support the charity. We'll do a fish bowl when we're having a PTA night, for example. We'll set up specials that they're getting for bowling and video games and stuff. But when they buy something in the snack bar, they write the name of the school that's there on the back of the receipt, drop it in the bowl. We go through the bowl, add it up, and we donate 10% of the proceeds back to the school as well as something else for that. Lane rental, center rental. You can rent it by the lane, rent it by the entire center. Again, everybody's going to have a different situation at your center as to how you want to do that. So just look at different ways to do it. One thing that I'm pretty adamant about, anytime we book a bowling fundraiser, event, outing, etc., I do not include food in the package for a variety of reasons. First of all it does is increase the cost of what it's going to cost for the charity to come in, right? It's going to increase the basic package. They might have fewer people show up. 2, if you don't have food in the package, they're coming in to bowl. Guess what? They're going to get hungry, so they're probably going to buy food anyway. So it's more revenue for you. The charity brings in a bunch of people to bowl at this special price. They're going to get hungry, and they're going to eat. And then if you can talk to them in advance and say, you know what we'll do? We'll donate 10% of whatever they spend on food back to the charity as well. It's just a goodwill thing, right? So I would recommend that when you're building a package for these charities, don't include the food in there if you can keep from it. Yes?
I give them a sheet of 10% coupons in a sheet. They can make as many copies as they want. They can put it in their newsletter, and as long as somebody comes that day with the coupon, our staff can't hand them out. They can hand them out, but their 10%'s their 10%.
That's a great suggestion. And the first thing I like that she said is I print out the sheet of coupons and give it to them. Because, again, we're talking with a bunch of volunteers, and really they don't have the manpower to design a sheet of 10% coupons, to print the sheet of 10% coupons, etc. So anything you can do, we'll touch on this here in a couple more slides, anything you can do to help out the charity is great, and that's a wonderful idea to give them the coupons themselves. Now then, I did put a tournament within the fundraiser. We're all bowlers. Some of us are better than others. But even when you're having the big fundraising event for the non-bowlers, some people are going to want to have a tournament, correct? Do it. Have a tournament. You can have a tournament within the fundraiser. These lanes over here are set aside for competitive purposes only. Maybe you charge them more money. You supply trophies, etc. I'm not saying don't book a tournament. I'm saying you don't use the word tournament to get the majority of the people in there, but you can absolutely include a tournament as part of the event. Does that make sense? It's not the sole part of the event, but it's certainly an important part for those people who do like to bowl and do want to have a tournament setting to test themselves. Group selling discount cards. Does anybody have these cards in your community to where a Little League team goes and they sell cards and you get discounts and stuff? Have you seen those? Anybody participate on those where you offer something on the card? Is yours a one-time, like a punch card? Can they use it multiple times? It's like a permanent coupon in their pocket. Have you ever tried to do like I did once where you get your left rental shoe is free with the rental of a right rental shoe? I tried that when one-legged guy showed up. He was really pissed. So I had to drop that idea. But no, what we're getting at, a lot of times these little credit cards, it's a permanent coupon. You got somebody in your pocket. When it's time to do something, hey, wait a minute, look at this. I can save us $3, $4, whatever you're charging for rental shoes right there. I talked to a company earlier this week in Texas before I left, and I'm meeting with next week, to where they have a pretty neat deal. They'll put together in our case, Alley Cats, the Alley Cats coupon, and that's all that's on it. It's a permanent card with our discounts on it. All we give them is the discounts, but it is a punch card deal. They get the offers, they design the card, they print the card, and then they go out and find the sports groups and the teams, etc., that want to go sell those cards. All I'm giving up is the discount, and as we all know, it's all about foot traffic and the offer that you give them. So you're really not giving anything. So I'm really excited with meeting with that guy. I'm sorry? Oh, don't ask me that. I'm going to have to find it. Well, I literally talked to him when I was flittering about trying to pack bags. It is a good lead, and I will get that answer for you as soon as I can get on the internet, because I can pull my email up. Yeah, you come see me in the booth. I will have it by Thursday, or by Wednesday. I'll have it. If you want to meet me in my room tonight around 11:30 after I donate to the blackjack table, I'm happy to get online then. No, seriously, I'm going to get that information. It really is fresh off the press. I'm excited about talking to them. Anybody else have any unique? I'm going to talk about this last one here in a sec, but anybody else do anything? Oh, no, that's something else I get here. Just a second. Where's my next slide? Nope. No, wait. Oh, there it is, but we're not going there yet. Good question. Hold that thought, because we're going to get to that one. The last one's a multi-day coupon or ticket. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to work with a charity. You're going to put together a great benefit, a great outing, a great opportunity to support their charity on Wednesday, June 10th. And then all of a sudden, Justin Bieber decides to have a concert on Wednesday, June 10th, and you lose your audience, right? Or the Little League team has a rain-out playoff game, or something's going to happen if you limit it to one. So one thing I did, the last time UT Arlington is college, obviously, in Arlington, and I put together this. If you'll notice, and I don't know if you can read it from there, this was a coupon certificate that they emailed out to their alumni. There's 40-something thousand alumni, including myself. I crammed my 4-year degree into 5.5 years, but I was able to pull that off. Anyway, we did this from January 23rd to the 26th, and they could show up with this coupon on any of those days and get this offer. And it was a great deal for them. So you're not locked into one day. Something's going to come up. Take this a step further, and I try to do this with anything I print. If you'll notice, see where it says $10 plus tax per person? Right under that, valid for up to 6 people. If it's just one coupon and I have it, I get the offer. If it's just one coupon and I have it and you don't, you can come with me and we both get the offer. So you get potentially 6 times as many people have exposure to the event. I say, look at this, man. UTA Alumni Association have this great package. Let's go. You can go with me, and we all get to go. So I do that not just with these, but any coupons I run, I try to make it valid for up to 6 people. What the heck? It's cheaper. Saves you on printing. This didn't cost me anything on printing, by the way, because we emailed it. But to your point, I designed it in-house, gave it to them. They emailed it out to their alumni association. Now, yes, I did try to get the name of all 40,000 emails in the alumni association. That didn't happen, but it wasn't due to a lack of effort on my part. But we did get the word out. So a multi-day event, I'd recommend that sometimes instead of locking yourself into one day. If you have a period of the year where you know it's going to be slow, and again, we don't do leagues, so we're a little different. But if you have an opportunity, maybe you don't have any leagues on a Tuesday night, so every Tuesday night in March is a benefit night for XYZ. And so you can print this out to where, hey, bring this in any Tuesday night in March, and you're supporting the charity. Okay? So just something else to think about. You want to use a lot of different ideas in your center to help them raise money. This is what this gorgeous lady was asking just a moment ago, the Elimination Bowl with a gift certificate. First time I saw this was when I was with BPAA probably 10 years ago. I'd never seen this before, and I thought it was really cool, and I'm looking forward. I hope they do it again. But and I have a question. We were having an argument earlier. I'm stepping over here for a second. How many lanes at the bowling stadium here? So you don't know either. 70, 80? Anybody know exactly? 78. Thank you. Oh, 78 lanes over here across this, where we'll all be tonight for the welcome recess. 78 lanes. Okay. I came to an event here. They randomly drew 78 bowlers out of the hat, and they all line up lanes 1 through 78. We've all seen this before. This was really cool, especially because this was bowlers. Everybody steps up, on my mark, bowl, and you bowl. If you get a strike, you keep standing up. If you don't get a strike, you sit down. It's elimination. So at a bowling convention, there's a lot of strikes. When you're having an event for the Presbyterian Night Shelter, you might want to step on the brake a little bit and say, anybody that hits 5 or more pins, please stay standing. All right? So you don't want to embarrass anybody. The whole point is this. You narrow them down. Last person standing wins the prize. When I was at the BPAA thing, the last person standing either won $5,000 or $10,000. I can't remember what it was, but it was substantial. And the place went wild. And it was really, really cool. So I've taken that, chopped it down to a smaller level, and we use it at the centers. So, for example, we have a split house. We have 8 lanes on one side, 16 on the other. That would be a total of, okay, just make sure we're all still awake, 24 lanes. But I'll take the 16 lane side, and for the charity, I'll say, hey, I need 16 people that would like to make a $50 donation to the charity. How many of you make a $50 donation for a chance to win a $300 gift certificate to Alley Cats? Anybody? And every time I get 16 people that'll fork over another $50 to go to the charity. Here's what happens. The entire $800 goes right to the charity. And all I'm giving up is a gift certificate. Well, I'll do that for the charity like that. And it works out great because you get plenty of people donating that $50 that all going to the charity. The winner, you're the winner. Congratulations. You just got a $300 gift certificate. Now you're going to come back and you're going to tell everybody where you got it. It can continue to build on itself. I make the $300 certificate actually is a bowling party for 10 people. But it includes pizza and soft drinks, and I'll give them some game cards. It's a very, very good package. Did it cost me $300? No. But, yeah, and you're going to drink beer. Right. I want to go to your party. If you win, call me. I'm coming to that party. But the point is this. It's a value-added thing that you can give to the group to help them raise more money and generate more excitement for their event. So it's just something else you can offer them. Raffle tickets, of course, are important. Have an area where they can sell raffle tickets to raise money in the center. Gift card tree. Now, this is pretty cool. I work with a group called Arbor, Arlington Board of Realtors. I'd never seen this before, and I have stolen this idea. They get all of their anybody ever been on a committee for a nonprofit group? You're on the committee planning the event, okay? What they do, everybody on the committee has to get a gift card. It doesn't matter. You go buy a gift card to get it donated, but the gift card's a minimum $20 value. Starbucks, Target, Best Buy, whatever. They get all the gift cards, they pin them to a tree, and they raffle off that tree. The tree might have $800 worth of gift cards on it. $800. Every year I buy raffle tickets for this thing, trying to win the stupid tree, and I can't do it. But if I ever do, it's going to be great. Because I'll have more movie passes, more Starbucks passes, more Home Depot. I'll go buy a garage door opener. I don't even have a garage. But if the price is right, I'm going to do it just because the gift card treat. So it's kind of a neat thing that you can suggest to these groups as well. Anybody have pool tables? All right. You could certainly do a billiard tournament in conjunction with the bowling event. Okay? Or maybe instead of. Maybe a group doesn't want to have a whole bowling event, but they want to do a pool tournament. Well, you've got pool tables. If you have enough, put together a pool tournament for them because they're in there. And if this guy, what's your name? If David's in there playing pool, what else are you doing, David? Drinking beer, exactly. So you're bringing the foot traffic in the space. You're helping out the charity with the pool tournament. And then silent auction, live auction, blind auction. We all know what silent auctions are, right? We have the clipboards, and we're going to have this big screen TV valued at $400. Bryan Weatherford, $20. And then, okay, Joe Blow, $25. All right, Brian, I'm back at, you know how it works. Okay, but finally, high prize gets it. I work with nonprofit groups telling them on these silly live auction deals like this, I've been to them with 60 items before. They go stretch from here to here. Package the deals, first of all. Don't have 2 movie tickets here, 2 tickets to a baseball game here. Put them all together. It's an entertainment package. Try to do that. But the other thing is this, a blind auction. I came up with this for myself. I love it. Not just because I came up with it, because it's one of the few things I came up with that actually works. And here's how it goes. You take this same item, this big screen TV, and you got 5 of us idiots dicking around $5 a piece trying to outbid each other, okay? And finally you get to the bottom, sold, $380. Hey, look at me. But all these other guys were right in the hunt, okay? Here's what you do on a blind auction. For the blind auction, you want to bid on the TV, you write a check payable to the charity. You write the check, whatever your bid is, you drop the check in the box. At the end of the night, we're going to pile through all the checks. Whoever wrote the biggest check gets the TV. Everybody else, thank you for your donation. See, you're laughing. It's great. And here's why. You have these same guys, they know the TV's valued at $400, and they're all right in this, golly, I can get a $400 TV for $200. Okay, I'm going for it. Well, let me give you a hint from somebody that's been there before. If you want to bid $200, you want to write your check, don't write a check for $200. Write it for $200.62 and drop it in the box, or $201.11 or something like that. Because I'm the idiot that dropped a check, and this is my own deal. I dropped a check in the box one time to buy a painting for my mom. There's this painting artist thing that she wanted. I wrote the check for $150, and I made a nice donation, and the guy that wrote the check for $150.12 laughed at me all night long because he had my mom's painting with him. But this is something, these things like this is a lot of times these charity groups don't think of these things. They haven't seen them. They're not familiar with them. So it's a value-added deal that you can give them. The blind auction is a lot of fun. Now then, you don't take all the silent auctions and do it. Just pick one of them. Don't take all of them. Just take the TV or something big and try the blind auction deal. It's really, really cool. Anybody else ever heard of that? Anybody else know anything else you can do inside your bowling center to raise money? That's just some ideas back here. There's a ton of them. Anybody? Anybody? Okay. If something comes up, let us know. Did you hear this? You're exactly right. Make slips for credit card donations. You're exactly right, and we have done that. Oh, does anybody know what a square is for your iPhone? Where you can take credit cards? My wife has one of those for her business. Do you know what I'm talking about? A little device you stick in the end of your iPhone. You can swipe it and take credit cards. It's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, I digress. But you're right. Make it easy for them to raise money, and a lot of them aren't going to have a checkbook or cash. Take credit cards on their behalf. And you can use that as well. Vendors. This is important for a couple of reasons. If somebody is going to, remember, we're competing with all those places back on the slide, the very first slide. Our bowling center is now in competition to book fundraising events. And we're in competition with hotels and country clubs and schools and all the other places that do this stuff. We're working with, for the most part, a volunteer-based organization. They don't know a lot of people. Okay, you do know a lot of people. So you put together a list of vendors that they may want to use at your event in your center. So you work with DJs, or KJs as they're called for karaoke. Anybody know that? They're KJs? I was corrected once on that, just once, but now I know the difference. Work with a local company in town that does promotional products. They may need T-shirts or koozies or hats or something for the event itself. All these things, a caterer, balloon artist, clowns, all this stuff behind me. If you have a ready-made list to present to someone, it just takes a lot of work off of their shoulders. They don't have to go out and research things. Now then, it gets even better. With your caterers, I know we all do food in our centers, but sometimes it might be better to let a caterer do it. They may want something that you don't have. Again, I don't recommend doing food for the majority of things, but occasionally you may have a big event and they want to have food that you're not comfortable with cooking, so you come up with caterers that can help them out. Same thing, too. I would imagine everybody in this room has a liquor license, but if you don't, you can certainly work with the local caterer, and on an event basis, they can bring in, I know this varies by state, but I think it's pretty universal. The caterer in your town can come in and bring booze to your place if you don't have a liquor license. So you put together this group of people that you've met with in advance, and you suggest that, hey, here's some preferred vendors that we use. They're familiar with our facilities, the parking, the unloading, the power, etc. I recommend that you use these people. On the back end of this, you're getting money from them. Maybe it's money in the form of credit with the DJ, to where when you need to book a DJ for your event, he or she may come do it for free because you gave them plenty of business from these groups that you booked. Maybe it's a flat out, you're getting a percentage from them just as a corkage fee, if you will, for that. You looks like, and you are, being a very nice person to put together a list of people that the charity may need, but it can also put money to your bottom line. Does that make sense? Anybody ever thought of that? Have all these groups? Yeah. Also, for your part, it's good to work with someone you're comfortable with. They go out and get their own DJ. You may not be familiar with them, and they come in and start trying to plug into your equipment. It's just a nasty situation. So if you can work with people that you're comfortable with, it helps everybody out with that. Anybody else have anything that should be on that list? Inflatables, cash cubes. Anybody know what a cash cube is? The big deal with the money that blows around inside of it, and the lucky person gets to go in there and try to grab money. It's pretty. Anybody ever done it? It's pretty hard, isn't it? And there's always like $100 bill in there and a bunch of crinkled up ones. You're trying to grab them. But you know what else could be in there? There could be a slip of paper for a $100 gift certificate to your place. You could donate stuff to put in the cash cube that people are in there trying to win. It's a lot of fun. We looked at actually buying a cash cube. We're better off renting them. I've decided that. Leave that to the pros. But does anybody else know any other type of vendor that you might want to have available for potential fundraising groups to use at your center? Auctioneer is a great one. Auctioneer is a great one. I'm glad you said that because a lot of time, I'm from Texas. I don't know if I brought that up. Usually I don't have to, but I am from Texas, and there's a lot of auctioneers, and I go to a lot of events, and sometimes they'll bring in the fast-talking cow-selling auctioneer, which you can't understand. If you're used to buying cows for a living, it's one thing, but if you're showing up at the black tie gala and you think that you're bidding on a trip to Cabo, but you really just bought a dachshund puppy, you're not going to be real happy at the end of the night. So it's good to have an auctioneer that knows what they're doing and can spot people and that is really good at it and very entertaining. So you may or may not want the fast-talking cow-selling auctioneer, but there's other types of auctioneers you can get as well that are good with a microphone and are funny and can tell jokes and can help the charity raise money. That's a good one, Wally. I forgot about that. Anybody else? Auctioneer's a good one. Anyone else? Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact. So, yes. That's a good one, too. MCs are very important to keep the flow of the event going. You know, maybe all they're doing is bowling and you don't need it, but if you're going to stop and recognize the charity, here's the outgoing president, here's the incoming president, here's the students that just won the $1,000 Rotary Club scholarship, and you just want to have a nice MC to keep things going. That's a good one, too. And a lot of times auctioneers can do that as well. Casino companies, of course, are important, too. One great money savings thing on a casino company, and I know this because I used to own a casino company, you don't have full-time dealers. They're just sitting around waiting for that next party. The vast majority of casino party business is in December when everybody's having holiday parties. So you really don't have a full-time staff sitting around. And so your expense is bringing in the dealers. One thing that I've done before with lock-ins, for example, a lot of the high school lock-ins, they'll have casino parties. The casino company will just come in. They'll bring the equipment. They'll set up the equipment. By the equipment, I mean the blackjack tables, the craps tables, the cards, the dice, everything you need, okay? They don't bring the dealers. So who deals? Family, but even more importantly, what really works well, the football coach, the cheerleader sponsor, the principal, the history teacher. I mean, it's great because the kids get a really big kick out of playing blackjack with the baseball coach dealing blackjack, right, at a lock-in. So it saves them a lot of money because really all you're doing is renting equipment. When I used to have a garage full of blackjack tables from midnight to 6 in the morning, they weren't making me any money. But if I could go dump them off somewhere at $100 a piece or $50 a piece, I just made $50. I'm more than happy to do it. Even if it's just me up there babysitting them all night, acting like I'm the pit boss, it's great. But it's neat, too, for the charities when they supply their dealers for the event. The students love it, but more importantly, there's more chaperones that are there. It's pretty easy a lot of instances for lock-ins to get female chaperones. It's tough getting guys. I don't want to go up there and hang out with those high school. Oh, wait, I get to deal blackjack all night? Okay, I'm in. So it helps them out, too. On the casino parties, it's really important to work with them, but also to stress to the charity itself that they can actually save a lot of money if they supply the dealers. Let me help you get together with the casino equipment, but you guys put the dealers together. So that's a good one, too, on the casino companies. Here's some value-added items that you can do to help the charity get the word out on their event. Stuff that you may have in-house. Anybody have a pretty good database, email list? If you don't, you should get one. BPA has some great programs that they can certainly tell you about, and there's a lot of them out there. But your e-blast, you don't want to over e-blast your list ever. But if you talk to for example, I have, at last count, somewhere around 13,000 to 14,000 names on my e-blast list. And that's a big number to a charity group. If I say, hey, you book your event here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send out a dedicated e-blast. I'm not making any guarantees. The only guarantee I'm making, I'm going to send this out. And there's 13,000 people that are going to hear about their event. It didn't cost them a dime. It's a value-added thing. Same with your text marketing. Anybody here do text marketing? You have the signs in your center where it says, anybody go to restaurants and you see the little table tent and it says, text this to this and get this, okay? Well, we do that. It's kind of cool. There's programs here, too. I'm sure there's got to be vendors at the show that do that. Text marketing is kind of cool. I don't know, I have about 750 names on my text marketing list. But these are all people that have opted in that want to hear what's going on at my center, okay? And all of a sudden they get a text that says, hey, come join us on July 10th for a benefit for whoever it is. It's just 750 more people that are hearing about the event. That's something else that you're giving them. Same with any of your social media. Twitter. Everybody do Twitter and Facebook. And anybody do Pinterest? Do you do Pinterest for your bowling center? Can you tell me about that real quick? Because I don't get it. I think it's a female thing. Tell me about Pinterest.
Well, I'm kind of new to it in the bowling center. I've used it for a while on my personal level. But basically, it's a program that allows you to kind of like bookmark things that you find on the internet and put them into little folders. And it has a feed similar to what you'd find on maybe Facebook. Not really like that, but it'll have a feed where people that you follow, when they post something in a folder, a picture will come up, and it might be a coupon for bowling this week for Father's Day. And the person will see that, and they can click on it, and you can make it linkable to your actual coupon or whatever, to your website. You can also post pictures of your staff. You can post pictures of events that you have on. You can put your flyers out there, and everything's linkable. So you can actually tell them you can link it to wherever you want them to go. And it's just, at first it was a lot of women, but there are a lot of men that are actually catching up on it as well.
Thank you very much. That was a little Pinterest update. I'll get you off to the side later. I started using Pinterest recently and haven't gotten into as much as I wanted to, but we will. But I'm guessing that's just something else I could offer to a group. Facebook page. I finally passed 2,000 on my Facebook page. It's my own personal goal. Actually, I'm a little over 2,100 now, but that's something else too. Our website, I can run a banner ad on my website to support the charity. I mean, all this is value-added stuff that you're giving the charity to book an event at your center, and it doesn't cost you anything. I mean, if you do a lot of this stuff in-house, it doesn't. If you have to farm it out to your graphics guy or gal and pay he or she $50, $100, whatever they charge you to make a banner ad, you're going to recoup it at the event itself. But again, with these volunteer-based organizations, this is an opportunity that you have to help them have more eyes seeing what they're going to do at your center.
Some of the added items that we wound up doing, we're pretty high tech with all of our stuff in our center at Stars and Strikes. And what we wound up doing for schools is if they were doing a fundraiser, we would actually create a school fundraising thing. So we would actually put that school, their logo out there, what they were doing, and say, hey, please go to the school. They're trying to raise money for the technology or computers or whatever it may be, or Seize the Day or whatever, and go help support that school, raise money. And it's amazing the people that come there. And with that, you're going to get things back in return from those schools booking events at your center.
Yeah, that's a great idea too. And if you are, and a lot of us are getting into the social media and text marketing and stuff, just something else. And of course, you can always go old school with in-house signs, posters, or if you can put a slide up on your screen. Anything you can do to help them market their event is a good thing, and it really could help you book that event at your location, okay? All right, here's the last thing I want to talk about. I love to play golf. Reggie's played with me. He doesn't love to play golf with me. It is quite humorous, you must admit, right, Reggie? We did have a lot of fun. Now then, here's the thing. Going back to my ex-mother-in-law, they wanted to book for the Presbyterian Night Shelter. Remember, we're all coming full circle. Now we're back in the bathrooms at the Presbyterian Night Shelter. She wanted to have a golf tournament. All right, well, I knew a lot about bowling from my years with BPAA. And so when I went in and sat with these ladies, I asked them, and this is what I do. Do you agree most people, when it's time to raise money, time to have a golf tournament? Do you see that in your area? Is that just a Texas thing? I see a lot of people shaking their heads. Okay. When I meet with these people in my center, when they're coming in to talk with me, here's what I ask them. Do you want to have a golf tournament or do you want to have a fundraiser? They're like, well, what do you mean? I said, okay, here's the difference. If you're going to have any type of a fundraiser, you want to appeal to as big of a target audience as possible, right? And they go, yeah. I say, okay. If you have a golf tournament, here's your target audience right here, golfers, people that play golf. Take it a step further. Most of the golf tournaments in our area, and probably yours, they want to have it at the country club, right? Which for the most part means they have to do it on Monday when the country club's closed. So you take this already small group here, and you have to cut it down even further because not everybody can blow off a day of work on Monday to go play in a charity golf tournament. Have a bowling event. This is me telling you. Have a bowling event. Much bigger target audience. Anybody can bowl. We supply the equipment. You don't have to bring equipment. We've got the equipment. You can bowl at night. Weather doesn't matter. I've played in charity golf tournaments. Maybe any other golfers in the room want to be golfers? I've played in charity golf tournaments when it's 45 degrees and raining, or when it's 108 degrees in the shade. You done that? I tell them, weather doesn't matter at the bowling center. When you're having your bowling events, you come on in, it's always 72 degrees. Unless the AC's out, and that's a different story. But for the most part, it's 72 degrees. You come in, it's dry. You're going to have a good time. Kids can bowl. You can make this a family event. Bring the kids in. Teach them the importance of giving back to charity, helping people less fortunate than themselves. Not just this charity specifically, but charities in general. You can bowl at night. Go try that with golf. There's just a lot of pluses. I'm really adamant on selling golf against bowling. Bowling against golf. The other thing is this. If you're not a golfer, you're certainly not going to go to the golf event. Nobody, trust me, Reggie will know this firsthand, nobody's going to want to go watch me play golf. Okay? It ain't Phil Mickelson. It's a bunch of hacks like me. Nobody wants to see that. But even though anybody can bowl, even though bowling's the #1 participatory sport in America, 70 million people a year do it, maybe somebody wants to come to the event. They can't bowl that night because they're running late, but they're still going to come. Because if I'm in a golf tournament, I'm hanging out with the same 5 guys for 5 hours spread over 90 acres. That's all I see. If I'm going to a bowling event, everybody's in there together, right? Everybody's having a good time. It's a party. Who said party when we first started? That was a great word. Everybody loves to go to a party. But more importantly, by being there, they can help support the charity too. They can purchase raffle tickets. They can do the 50-50 auction. They can do the silent auction, live auction, maybe even the blind auction, and they can help support the charity. So there's just so many pluses to bowling events, bowling outings, bowling charities, bowling fundraisers over golf tournaments. Okay? So that's how I really always got started on that is, everybody thinks about golf when it's time to raise money, but we should get them thinking about bowling. And the best way to do that is to get them into your center and already have all your ducks in a row and already have some ideas on what they can do in addition to bowling, whether it's going to be a billiards tournament or you can set your silent auction tables up over here. I have meeting rooms. We could do a casino back over in this area. It's all a fundraising event, just like you would go do at the hotel, etc. But you're going to do it for them. You're going to charge them a lot less money, and which means you're going to raise a lot more money for them. But for you, you're going to expose new people to your business, non-bowlers to your business that can come in. And the only reason they came is because they came for a fundraising event to begin with. So in conclusion, just like I said, think of your place not just as a bowling center, but as a venue. You want to be able to realize, or you should realize, all nonprofit groups need to raise money. Most of them don't know how. Most of them are volunteer-based. If you can do anything to help those volunteers, make it easier for them. We're selling bowling to non-bowlers. Everyone loves to bowl. Not everyone loves tournaments. Again, I'm not bagging on tournaments at all. I'm just getting you to think about it a little bit differently. And, of course, add a tournament to the mix anytime that it fits. Use these things to fill the slow times. When I booked the bowling event for the Presbyterian Night Shelter, we have a bowling center in town, doesn't do anything on Sunday afternoons, Cowtown Bowling Lanes. I got with the GM. He said, I'll rent you a place for $2,000. I said, great. Met with a friend of mine that's a banker. I said, I need $2,000 for you to sponsor this event for the Presbyterian Night Shelter. Okay, I'm in. When I sat down with those ladies, they went in the room ready to have a golf tournament. I said, here's a contract. We can get a bowling center Sunday afternoon for 5 hours for $2,000. Here's the $2,000 check. Let's go raise some money. So we did that very first event like that and raised, it was somewhere around $20,000, which doesn't sound like a lot of money. Again, that's not a Susan G. Komen type deal, but to build new bathrooms, it's a really pretty neat thing. So you never know what's going to happen. And then last, just realize that those fundraisers are a great way for you to capitalize on more business all through exposure of people that may have never seen you before. So late in the day, I'm getting hoarse. Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to add anything? That's me. That's my company. I'll be on the trade show floor if you'd like to come by and see me. And Wally, I'll get that answer for you. I want to find out the name of that company. So thank you all very much. And one last thing, if you would, please fill out those little evaluation forms. It's important for all of us. So thank you very much for coming, and enjoy the rest of your stay. Go hear some other seminars tomorrow. Thank you.